Good day. My name is Bill Carr. I'm the Chief Mobility Architect at Com Solutions Company, and welcome to another Aruba Networks Tech Tip. Today we'll be discussing configuring the validuser ACL, which is a system-wide ACL in the Aruba controller designed to allow a network administrator to protect their wireless hosts from accidentally being duplicated on their wireless LAN or through a wired port. It's important to note this issue could impact you even without a user attempting to be malicious. I recently had a customer who had a situation where a user on an iPad accidentally was given a static address, a subnet mask, and a gateway, and put them in the wrong fields. So they actually put the gateway address in the IP address field, correct subnet mask, and put the static address they were supposed to receive as their gateway. By associating actually to, ironically, their open guest network, not even on the correct VLAN, but because the device was statically addressed, when that IP address and MAC combination was received on an associated AP, the controller created a user table entry for it. By creating that user table entry for that address, which actually was their gateway on that network, the controller then has a destination listed as a tunnel interface on the controller for where to deliver traffic destined to that IP address. So it doesn't go out the wired port that we would expect it to go to the correct default gateway. The default valid user ACL allows all traffic. So it's very, very important, and it is a best practice to use this ACL to protect the valid network addresses that are on your wired and wireless network. So this firewall rule controls which users can add addresses, which IP addresses will be able to be permitted to create user table entries. So if you're doing only wireless LAN or if you're doing wired MAS ports, it's very important that you include only addresses that should be user entries in the user table. So you can protect your servers. Very important to protect gateway addresses, DNS servers, DHCP servers, and of course any application servers. This can also protect you in the event the user is connected to both a wired and wireless network and bridges the networks together. This valid user ACL is not meant to be applied to an interface. It is a system-wide internal system policy, and it can be viewed through the CLI as well as through the web user interface under access controls policies, and you can edit the valid user policy. So as I mentioned, we did have this customer who accidentally had an iPad user statically give the address as the gateway that was on their network. We were able to diagnose this easily using the show data path session and then the IP address of the gateway on the CLI of the controller. And essentially what we saw is that address was 10001. So you'll notice in a few of these entries that we see some traffic being destined to 10001. And it's actually destined out a tunnel interface, which is not where it should be. It should be destined out a port interface. In this case, it was 13, which is where the traffic was supposed to go. And you'll notice we see some traffic that was port 137 that was going out the correct port, but the UDP traffic was, but we also saw that some of the TCP port 80 traffic was not. In the web user interface, you're able to see this particular user role was an allow all policy, but we were actually seeing firewall hits that were marked to deny. So if you see deny hits in a valid allow all role, it's very obvious that you have something that's being denied because of the valid user policy. So in this case, we took the customer's network and we modified the valid user ACL to block a few things. We blocked the Microsoft auto-config addresses, the 169.254s. We blocked anything that was on their wired network, which happened to be summarizable as 10.00/22. We also blocked, in this case, they're running IPv6 on their wireless LAN. We blocked any local link prefixes for IPv6 as well. So again, very, very important, and it could actually impact you, even though you have great security on all of your networks. It's a possibility that if you have a pre-shared key network or an open network, even on the guest side, there is a chance a user could accidentally masquerade as a valid host, providing them the ability to, not necessarily maliciously, but either way, interrupt service to your users or create that denial of service attack. Thanks again for viewing. If there's any questions, please feel free to contact us at Com Solutions. visit our website. And thanks again.